Welcome in, everyone. It is the Festival of Hope, and we're here this week recognizing and celebrating and exploring the holiday of Christmas. So, welcome to Christmas week. I do want to acknowledge, actually, also that today is the winter solstice. And so, we talked last week about winter solstice and explored. Oh, sorry. We talked last week about Hanukkah. The week before that about winter solstice, knowing that we had a little bit of flexibility with three things going on at once. But I did want to recognize that today is the day of winter solstice. And also, just as a quick reminder that Jupiter and Saturn are going to be crossing paths. So we're here on the West Coast. Apparently, wherever you are, it's an hour after dusk, or yes, an hour after sunset. So dusk-ish. So looking for the bright light of the planets aligning tonight. But what's interesting to me about the combination of winter solstice, Hanukkah, Christmas, actually all of our year-end rituals, there's such a consistent theme of reflection. You saw it, Wendy? I love that. Was it easy to find? Please tell us in the chat. Wendy says that she saw the crossing of Jupiter and Saturn. She's in a different part of the world from us. So I'll be interested to hear how it went and whether or not it was easy. That's been the question I've been hearing most often. How do I do it? And am I going to be able to find it? Oh, she said it was easy. So going back to that theme of all this kind of shared theme across all three of these different weeks, solstice week, Hanukkah week, Christmas week. First of all is the theme of darkness and light. And so on this darkest day, which is the shortest amount of sunlight on the winter solstice here on this side of the equator, we are on the way up. So if you imagine we've been going downhill to a plateau, and now we're beginning the climb towards longer days and more sunshine. And that just feels so relevant in this circumstance where we find ourselves with the pandemic. It feels so relevant that we're in our darkest night and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and that we are now sort of heading towards the light. And this theme that we've selected for Christmas week is expectant waiting. And so the whole story, as many of you will likely know, of Christmas is the birth of the Christ child. And so there's also sometimes called the Christ energy. And Christ energy is this sense of the light dawning, that the light has come into the world. And in this story, in the Christmas story, the light comes into the world in the form of a child. I've always found that personally so meaningful because of the innocence of children and because I personally love kids. But when you look at the perfection of children and the things that they're not born with, that life hasn't touched yet, and the innocence with which they view the world, it feels so powerful, that the light would come into the world in the Christ energy in the form of a child and in the form of a baby specifically. And so this sense of expectant waiting that is around Christmas is kind of highlighted, as many of you may know. There are 4 weeks before Christmas Day, which is called the Advent season. And the Advent season is a time of waiting. It's a time of welcoming hope and peace and joy as we await, the great celebration of the birth of the Christ child. And so when I was thinking about this kind of idea of expectant waiting and comparing it to where we are in the world today, right? With, waiting to go back to a world that we know, waiting to gather with our families, waiting to hug our parents and our kids and our friends. For those of us here in the widowed community, waiting to be together in person. We're spoiled by our connection to each other in person, I think, and just so so missing that in-person energy that we create, the synergy that's created when we're together. And so this sense of expectant waiting really resonated with me, that we're waiting for a lot of things. But at in this season, for people who are of the Christian faith, this is a time of waiting for this miracle of the baby Christ being born and the Christ energy coming into the world. And so it feels so relevant now, in particular following solstice, right, which is the darkest night. And so here we are at the darkness, awaiting the light. It's right along the lines of Hanukkah, whereby we're lighting candles in remembrance. We're celebrating light. We're celebrating, the opportunity to hope and to welcome joy and laughter. And so here we come into the Christmas week as we start working on the celebration of awaiting the Christ energy. So it is just feels so there's just such a synchronicity between all of these year-end rituals, and we saw it at the same right during the harvest season. All of the harvest type of traditions and rituals and holidays that are about abundance and about sharing your abundance. So we did that really for November. And then as we come into this winter season, as we come into the cycle of patient waiting, we're expecting this. What are we expecting? And so that's the question I have for you as we go into Christmas week, is to be able to hold in our hearts that what we are expecting and name it. Are we expecting joy? Are we expecting time with our families? Are we expecting peace? Are we expecting justice? What are the things? What are the tenets that we expect and that we welcome into the world as we welcome the Christmas energy? So, Christmas is an interesting holiday also because in so many ways it's secularized with Santa Claus and with gift giving, and yet paired with the Christ child and the visiting of the kings, which we will celebrate actually in January. So it's this combination, isn't it, of the beginning of the religious ritual, which blended sort of into the secular celebration, which is a blend of all kinds of different traditions, really, from around the world. So this Christmas time, I always think of Christmas as something for everyone. That we have the opportunity to wait patiently for whatever it is that we are wanting to welcome into our lives, and that the Christmas energy is about that. And I feel like there's no better time for the Christmas energy than now. That this time in our world and in our lives, being able to welcome that Christmas energy into our hearts with the hopefulness that comes with the idea that the light is coming. And so I hope that as we go into this Christmas week, and I want to acknowledge that for so many of us who are grieving and missing someone in particular, these holidays can be really, really challenging, and welcoming hope into our heart may feel foreign. But I want to remind you that hope is kind of a moving target. You can choose to hope for a good night's sleep. You could choose to hope for a better day tomorrow. You can choose to hope for the opportunity to hug your friends and family. You can choose to hope for so many different things. And every day could be a new day in terms of what you hope for. Every hour could be a new hour in terms of what you hope for. And if you're at the point where you have to hope minute to minute, that's okay too. And if you change your mind every couple of minutes, there's nothing wrong with having a bucket full of hopes. So as we go into this Christmas season of expectant waiting and hoping for the things that we hold within our bowls, right? Whatever it is that you hold within your bowl. And like I said, some days it's going to be very simple. Other days maybe it's more a larger hope, and maybe a more profound hope in terms of a global hope. Whatever it is you put in your bowl, if we could welcome that and hold space for it as we go forward into these next couple of weeks, I think that it will be a little bit of a balm for our hearts. And so remember that you don't have to hope for something big or something global. You can hope for something small and something personal. You can hope that you have the opportunity to, remember your person with a smile. You can hope that you feel your person's love. You can hope that you have an opportunity to experience something new. Whatever it is that you hope for, hold it within your bowl. And as we walk through these next couple of weeks, I encourage you to keep that bowl close, because as we enter the new year energy, we're going to want to take those hopes with us. And so I want to just thank you all again for being a part of this Festival of Hope. As I said in the earliest stages of the festival, this kind of hope is the gritty hope. This is the hope that says we know that things are hard and we're going to choose hope anyways. And so I encourage you to find your own definition for hope this minute, this hour, this week, this year. Each of us will have a different focus and a different wish of the heart. But what I hope for all of us is peace, moments of peace over the next couple of weeks, where we have the opportunity to reflect on that bowl and decide what it is we want to hope for, and then give ourselves the opportunity to follow the light towards that hope, and to identify that light in whatever way most works for us, whether it's winter solstice, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Christmas. As we continue moving through the end of the year, we'll have the New Year energy, the journey of the Three Kings. So please know that you're not walking this road alone, that you have friends beside you, that each one of us is carrying our own hope bowl, and that, I will have my own personal way of acknowledging and honoring my hope, as will you. But we can do it side by side. And I believe very much in our combined ability to elevate those hopes by just standing side by side. We don't even have to know what's in each other's bowls. We just know that we're standing, that we're hoping together, that we are in the darkest night heading towards the energy and light of the sun, as we await patiently the expectant waiting of the Christ energy in the world, and continue to light those memories of our loved ones in our hearts. So I love this blend of all of the holidays, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to share it with all of you. Thank you so much for being here. And so this week, just as a quick recap, tomorrow we will have a community video by Kelly Lynn and her fiance Nick, who are going to be talking about the joys of Christmas for them. They love Christmas. They're going to talk about why. Then on Wednesday, of course, we'll have a fact sheet. I want to remind you that, we've looked at every one of these holidays through the lens of whichever religious aspect it first came to us, right? So there'll be a religious element to the Christmas fact sheet that, may or may not resonate with you. Our goal here is to express the historical and religious versions of each one of these holidays. Then on Thursday will be Christmas Eve. I'm so excited to be looking forward. John Ray is going to be Christmas caroling with us on Christmas Eve. So our Zoom call will be a celebration with John. So I'm excited about that. And then on Friday, we have another celebration where we'll be able to share some time with Kelly Lynn, and I assume that Nick will be with us as well. Also doing some Christmas caroling and sharing some laughter and some light on Christmas Day. So thank you so much to John and Kelly Lynn and Nick for being willing to share your Christmases with us. So we will be live Christmas Eve through our Zoom call. Christmas night, which will be Friday, we'll be streaming on a variety of platforms, so it'll be easy to find us. And then we will be heading into New Year's week right after that. So be well, take really good care of yourselves. I'm going to look forward to seeing you and connecting all week. I hope to see many of you for Christmas caroling on Thursday or Friday. One of my brother-in-laws is Jewish, and he cracks me up because he knows every single Christmas carol you can imagine He knows all the lyrics. He sings along. His Christmas carols are one of his favorite things. So no matter what religious background you may have, whether or not the Christmas caroling would be a part of your normal holiday season, I hope you'll join us and enjoy the fun and the excitement of the next couple of days. So be well, and I will look forward to seeing you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.